My name is Meg Vierick from the College of Business. Thank you for joining us this Friday morning. Really appreciate your engagement and your participation today as we try to connect with you during these COVID times, not in person, unfortunately, but via Zoom. So I'm going to take a minute just to share some slides. We have 1 hour, as Deanna mentioned, for the College of Business presentation, and we are going to do our best to share with you where we are, what our priorities are and have been, and just hope that we're able to answer as many questions as you might have. So, all right. So. Joining me today, at least in the in the initial phase of the presentation, since we're going to have some chairs join us later on, is the director of the Jack Holland Student Success Center, who is a key part in terms of the success of the students in the college, Francisco Castile. Francisco, you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our counselor conference. We are excited to have you here today and hope that you learn more information about the Lucas College of Business and the students who we are supporting achieve their educational and career goals.
Fantastic. We also have with us today Sophia Meady, who manages all of our events in the College of Business, and she's also going to be helping monitor any Q&As or any chat line, anything that you might have. Sophia, you want to just say hello?
Welcome, everybody, and I hope you have a good time today.
Yeah, happy fall. I love the colors on your screen. Okay, so here's our agenda for this morning, for this next hour. Initially, Francisco and I are going to be doing an overall welcome, and we're going to cover some college highlights. We're sharing information about just an overview about the college. I will highlight a little bit in terms of our strategic priorities in the college, any changes that are happening, and Francisco is going to join me in giving a little bit more detail about our different concentrations, our different areas, and be able to dig a little bit deeper into the departments. At 10:25, you will have an opportunity to meet some of our department chairs. Our college is currently, we have 5 departments, and we are likely to have a 6th department next year. And so we're going to discuss that, and you'll have a chance to talk to the chairs as well. We have both departments in schools. They're essentially the same thing. So some of them are chairs, some of them are directors, but it's essentially the same. And then we have the last 20 minutes set aside for any questions and answers that you might have. And Francisco Castile, the director of our Jack Holland Student Success Center, will be taking the lead on managing this discussion. And of course, I will be there as well, along with Sophia. So we hope that this session is going to be useful to you. And again, happy to answer any questions. So feel free to send them along in the Q&A, as Deanna had mentioned. So a little bit before we start digging into the details in terms of the College of Business, I wanted to emphasize that our focus really for the last year and a half, 2 years, has been on 3 things. And I'm reiterating something that, the messages that even our dean has been sending to students, and particularly to students who are interested in coming and joining San Jose State College of Business. And those 3 we refer to as community building, having a cutting edge curriculum, and preparing our students to be career ready. So I'll just take a minute to describe what some of these are. Community building has become even more important now, given that we have switched to a virtual environment for 100% of our courses. As you probably know, all of our courses currently are being conducted online, and it's a different and difficult environment for many of our students as well as our faculty. And I did want to let you know that all of our faculty over the summer, a huge majority of them who were not comfortable completely comfortable teaching online have now been trained. And this semester, our classes are going really well in terms of online delivery. Now, of course, our faculty do want to come back to campus as soon as it's possible. But I did want to reinforce that we have had an active agenda in terms of building community. We've been hosting meetups of students, social meetups. We've been hosting student club events that students can engage with each other, because one of the challenges that we have found with a virtual environment is students, they get to hear the faculty member, but they don't always have the opportunity to connect with each other. Similar to how in today's meeting, you're not able to sit across the table with one another from different community colleges. So we are providing as many opportunities. We have peer leaders that are hosting sessions. We have student organizations hosting sessions. Sophia, who's on this meeting today, she leads several meetup sessions where students interact with other students. They do interesting activities just so they can get connected. The second thing I wanted to highlight is our cutting edge curriculum, which really we continue to improve continuously. We continue to add more and more innovation. We have an honors program where students get to do consulting projects in companies. And so we're continuing to develop our curriculum, and our chairs will clearly talk about some of the highlights in the departments. And then of course, the third that I'd like to highlight is career readiness, which is getting students ready to take on careers. Many of our transfer students come in already with a lot of work experience, and they're currently working, and this gives them an additional edge. We've invested in a lot of really interesting technology that helps students really hone on their career readiness. We've just this past spring we launched a communications clinic, a physical space actually for students to become better communicators. But we didn't get a chance to launch it because we obviously transitioned to virtual work. So this is just to give you an overview. Now I'd like to just spend a little bit of time talking about who our students are. This past fall, when I gave a presentation about the overview of what was happening in our college, we are still 1 degree, 13 concentrations, but here's a surprise. We have a 14th concentration that is expected to become a part of the College of Business, and that's hospitality, tourism, and event management. And we'll spend a little bit of time on that later in the presentation. This fall, we conferred over 1,500 degrees. Our entering class was about 1,800. You can see that we took in almost over 1,200 transfer students, and our current enrollment is over 5,000 students. So that gives you a snapshot of who we are as a college. In terms of our faculty profile, really, this is what our Zoom class looks like. We had 154 faculty, and they were teaching over 350 sections. And some classes obviously have multiple sections. So it's 94 unique classes, but over 351 sections. And we basically filled close to 16,000 seats across all of our classes. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, our modality is completely online. In terms of our undergraduate students, the gender distribution, as you can see, it's 56% male, 44% female. The majority of our students are Asian, followed by Latinx. That's the percentages are given. You can take a look on the slides, and you'll have those later on. The majority, of course, are seniors and juniors, given that the bulk of our classes, actually almost all but one of our classes are upper division courses. We have relatively few lower division courses, and we only offer one GE course in the College of Business. So that gives you a profile of of who we are as a college. About half our students currently start as Frosh and the rest came in as transfers. This is the current group of students. This data was actually pulled in August of 2020. So, there could be slight variations. One interesting development is that the average unit load has been increasing over the years. So students are taking more classes. And you can see on the slide that 12 units seem to be the number that a lot of students take. I apologize for that. Okay. And of course, this is not a surprise, but most of our students are California residents. So with that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to transition over at this point to Francisco Castile, who is the director, as I mentioned, of our advising center. He is going to do a deeper dive into our concentrations and our different areas. So I'm going to hand off to you from this point, although I'll continue moving the slides. So Francisco, just give me a heads up when you need the slide moved. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vierik. So yes, as you can see, we have a variety of options for students to choose from in terms of concentrations. So we have a breadth or range that focuses on some traditional programs like accounting and finance, but also offers unique opportunities for business analytics, for example, and global operations management. This particular table outlines an order of number of students that are in the most popular concentration. So marketing, 902, 16.2% of our students are majoring in marketing. It's also the fifth largest major concentration here at San Jose State University. We do have 13 concentrations listed on the table here for you to see. One note is general business is listed here, but it's not a program we're accepting students in any longer. So we do have current students in the program, but we are highly encouraging students to select from other options that we offer. So we have 12 listed here on the table. And as Dr. Vierik mentioned, we also have hospitality, tourism, and event management joining our college in fall of 2021. Next slide. In terms of student data by department, we see here from the table on the left-hand side, the percentage of students enrolled by department and degree advancement. So as mentioned before, many of our students are enrolled in upper division courses offered in our college. And you can also see the popularity here in terms of accounting and finance, marketing and business analytics, and School of Management. On the right-hand side, you'll see percentage of students enrolled by department overall, as opposed to lower division versus upper division, which we saw on the left-hand side. So we are looking to grow our programs in the School of Global Innovation and Leadership and also School of Information Systems and Technology. And we'll learn a little bit more about those particular programs in detail in the coming slides. So all this to say, in terms of, next slide, please. So our overall outcome is graduation rates. So we have access, which is important, but degree completion is essential. So what we are showcasing here is data that we have currently available. So our graduation rates for the business administration degree, when we look at upper division transfers who graduating within 2 years, fall of 2020, that was 33%. We are proud and happy that in fall of 2017, we had 47% of our students graduate within a 2-year time period of transferring to SJSU. Our 4-year graduation rate, the second row here, fall of 2018, 89%, and fall of 2015, 84%. We want to note here that we are also making progress towards achieving our Graduation Initiative 2025, where the CSU system is asking us to increase our graduation rates. And we have done just that for the Lucas College of Business in regards to our upper division transfer admins. So this is just a brief snapshot of data that we have readily available for us, wanted to share with you in regards to graduation or completion rates. Next slide. So the Jack Holland Student Success Center is our primary student services or support opportunity for undergraduate business students. You'll see our physical location on the left-hand side, and at one time we have students populating the courtyard, relaxing, taking in some sun, and studying. Currently with our virtual format, it looks a little bit different, but what we have in terms of services is academic advising. So all of our transfer students and undergraduate freshmen have access to academic advising through the Jack Holland Student Success Center. And our team of advisors are here to help students learn the requirements needed to earn a business degree in one of our various concentrations. Our goal is to get to know students and use our sample academic plans or roadmaps to help personalize a pathway to their graduation. We also have career resources. We think it's essential for students to identify and explore major and career opportunities, start to consider building experience, and eventually launching their career in Silicon Valley or anywhere in the world. In addition, we have free tutoring. So we're providing resources, even virtually, to help students master course material and ensure academic success. Lastly, we have peer leaders, and these are typically juniors and seniors, both who are admitted as freshmen and also students who are admitted as transfers. So the peer leaders are here to help all new business students transition to a diverse and vibrant community of over 5,000 students. So that's an overview of what I'd like to share here. And I'm going to turn it over back to Dr. Vierick to lead us through our faculty panel.
Thank you, Francisco. Okay, so now this next section is really to get to, to use this opportunity to introduce our chairs and to explain to you how our college is structured. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, we do have only, one degree, which is the BSBA, the Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, but we have different concentrations. And up until so far, we've had 5 departments that have housed, several different concentrations, but we are so thrilled to welcome a new department that will be joining us. The paperwork is still in process, so we haven't yet signed on the dotted line yet or gotten the approval, but the paperwork is in, and we expect that hospitality, tourism, and event management will become part of the College of Business. It will not be a different degree. It will still be the business degree that they will become part of our college. So, so I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce the panel, the chairs that we have, who, many of whom are able to join us. And based on whoever is able to join us, they will have a chance to talk to you and share perhaps some highlights of what is happening in their department. So, so I just wanted to acknowledge that they are here. Nancy De Silva from the School of Management, I see she is here she's logged into the meeting. Michael Mers, I saw him log into the meeting as well. He's the chair of Marketing and Business Analytics. Teho Park is also logged in. He is the director of the School of Global Innovation and Leadership. And Su Hong Yen is also here, he's the chair of the Hospitality, Tourism, and Event Management. I know that Dr. Elizabeth Grace was tied up in a different meeting, so Francisco and I we're happy to share about accounting and finance, and I believe Tim should be joining soon. But I'd like to start by first giving the floor to Dr. Yen, since we know that this is probably the biggest change for us in the College of Business. So, Dr. Yen, would you like to take the floor and introduce yourself and tell us what's happening with hospitality?
Oh, hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Also, can you turn my video on? Yeah, the host stopped my video, my camera. Okay.
So we have a picture of you. Yeah, there you go. You're here.
Okay, I like that picture. But this is my current version. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Chu Heng Yan. I'm chair of the Department of Hospitality, Tourism, and Event Management. We are very excited to move to College of Business in fall 2021. So this move, yeah, will strongly support, yeah, our mission and the goals. Yeah. So basically that we are a career-ready, focused curriculum. We prepare students to work in hotel, in restaurant, food and beverage service, and the event management career. Now, many of you are familiar with hotel, food and beverage, but not really understand the big spectrum of event management. Yeah. Now, event management cover a lot. Yeah. It can be, yeah, the wedding. Yeah. A lot of students, they like to say, okay, they like to be an event planner. Yeah. That's a good business. Yeah. But event, yeah, some bigger event. Yeah. For example, corporate event. Corporate event as part of their marketing campaign. Yeah, like student, they work for a tech company, yeah, in the Bay Area. Then this company, they host, yeah, like a trade show, like exhibit, new product introduction, uh, new developer conference, etc. It's a huge, huge, huge business. Yeah, and that's our focus. Yeah, that's part of our focus. All right.
Thank you, Yen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yen. Appreciate the insight. And of course, you're welcome. Welcome if you have any questions. We're happy to address those as the department transitions and becomes part of the College of Business. So, Dr.
Thank you.
Nancy De Silva, would you like to highlight something that's going on in the in the School of Management?
Good morning. My name again is Nancy De Silva, and I'm the director of the School of Management, which houses both the management and HR concentrations. I just wanted to highlight one of the best things about the school, and that's our faculty. We have an amazing team of part-time and full-time instructors who are committed to creating an engaging learning environment, both online and in person. We do a great job of blending theory and practice in the classroom. And I just wanted to focus on two new faculty. We have Elisa Mattarelli, who's going to be teaching an elective on teams and teaches students the tools and skills on how to best function in a team and be successful in team projects. And Samita Raghuram, who also joined us recently, is developing a special topics elective in human resource management, covering cutting edge issues like artificial intelligence in recruitment, social media and its role in HR, and the gig economy. So both of these classes are super innovative, cutting edge, as consistent with Associate Dean Bierik's message, and we'll continue to build on our curriculum to prepare our students as they enter the workforce.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. De Silva. Dr. Mertz, would you like to go next from Marketing and Business Analytics?
Sure. So I'm the chair of the Department of Marketing and Business Analytics, and as the name suggests, we house two concentrations, the business analytics and the marketing concentrations. Our marketing concentration is the most popular concentration in the College of Business, and our business analytics concentration is one of the fastest growing concentrations in the university. And so that growth and that popularity comes, in my opinion, from three factors. First, we have an amazing faculty. We have 30 faculty members, of which about half are part-time. A lot of them come from Silicon Valley companies and bring that Silicon Valley experience into our classrooms. Another factor, of course, is our really innovative curriculum. We are continuously redesigning our curriculum at the moment. We are completely redesigning our business analytics curriculum to be up to date with the content that we teach to our classes. And we will do the same with our marketing curriculum beginning next semester. And just to give you an example of how we try to be at the cutting edge is we are offering 2 new electives for our students. This semester, for the very first time, we offer event marketing, and next semester, for the very first time, we will be offering sports marketing. So 2 new electives that we try to stay on top of things. And the third driver of the popularity of our concentrations and the fast growth of them is the job prospects. Our students can find jobs at the top Silicon Valley companies, and they know that. And so that, along with the latest Glassdoor ranking of the 25 best jobs in America that mentioned that data analysts and business analysts were ranked #1 and marketing managers were #3, highlight students, it brings students to our concentrations for good reasons. So that much to our Department of Marketing and Business Analytics.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, these are really, really cutting edge programs, particularly the business analytics. I think that the students tend to go for marketing because a lot of students are just familiar with what it is, but the job prospects for business analytics are fantastic. Okay, I'd like to then switch over to Dr. Teho Park, who is from the School of Global Innovation and Leadership, and that houses a few of our concentrations as well. Dr. Park?
Hi, good morning. I'm Professor Teho Park, Director of the School of Global Innovation and Leadership. We have 3 concentrations: entrepreneurship, global operations management, and international business. You can visit our school's website to see the details of our concentrations. Today, I just want to give you some updates of these concentrations. According to the recent trend, students are getting more interested in entrepreneurship. So the number of entrepreneurship students has been recently increasing. Global operations management is also rapidly growing because of industry's needs for efficient operations and the supply chain management. So there are a lot of jobs available in this area as well. We have just submitted a proposal for changing the concentration name to Operations and Supply Chain Management to describe the concentration more inclusively and precisely. I hope our proposal for the concentration's name change will be approved soon. International business concentration is enhancing its curriculum by expanding required elective courses to provide students with a more country-oriented business environment, such as doing business in Japan, doing business in China, and doing business in India. The concentration requires students to have international experiences, but the requirement is waived for 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I hope to see many of your students join our concentration. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Park. That was very good, assessment of what's happening in the 3 different concentrations in your department. I see that Dr. Tim Hill has joined us from the School of Information Systems and Technology. Over to you, Tim.
Oh, thanks, Meg. Yeah, so we have just one concentration in our School of Information Systems and Technology, and that is Management Information Systems, or MIS is for short. That's what we call it. That's probably the least understood of all the concentrations. People are never sure what that really means. And so the way I like to sum it up is to say that it's information, or it's technology plus business. And so that's sort of the short way of looking at it. It's not computer science and it's not coding like software engineering. It's how you apply technology in the business in order to solve problems or exploit opportunities. And so it's not for nerds. People often think it's very nerdy. It's not. It's not like computer science or something. These are students getting the same BSBA as if they were an accounting student or a management student, etc. But nerds are cool too, and we kind of are as faculty. But yeah, the students that we see are business students, but they're learning enough technology to know how to apply it in order to help the business. And so they do learn a little bit of coding and they learn about the technology, but it's so that they can find that solution. And we have students working not at, after they graduate, not at just high-tech companies, although they do. We have them working at Google and Apple and all those places, Facebook. But we also have students doing that kind of MIS work at lots of other non-tech companies like Kaiser Permanente, for example. We had a student hired at the San Francisco Giants baseball team. Basically anywhere that needs technology to do what they're doing, which is pretty much anywhere, is where our graduates wind up going. So we're really excited about it. When I ask students, you know, what are 2 words, I tell them, you know, business and technology is what MIS is. Now, what are 2 words to describe Silicon Valley? It's business and technology. And then they see, yeah, that this is a great concentration for all kinds of different roles in all kinds of different organizations, especially around here where we are.
That's fantastic. That's a really, really excellent overview of the MIS concentration. Thank you, Dr. Hill. Since we have the chairs here for a little bit longer, about 5 minutes or so, 5 to 7 minutes, I'd like to take this time, if there are any questions that are posed for any of the department chairs, if Sophia, you or Francisco could read those questions out. We can have the chairs answer those directly. They're here with us until about 45. So if there's any questions that it would be fantastic. And in the meantime, while you're thinking of the questions, perhaps Francisco, since Dr. Elizabeth is join us, and you really in the accounting and finance concentration, you could perhaps provide an overview while we wait for some questions to come up. Francisco?
Absolutely. So we do have 4 concentrations in the Department of Accounting and Finance. And the first is accounting. And so that is one of our popular concentrations within this department. And students who are pursuing a concentration in accounting are definitely learning about accounting and records and how to really communicate information such as financial statements and reports to appropriate colleagues, business managers, to help make some important business decisions and compete in a global market. Our students who pursue this particular concentration are oftentimes looking into career opportunities to eventually become a certified management accountant or internal auditor. Secondly is accounting information systems. And this particular concentration blends the traditional accounting with information systems and really trying to leverage technology to help improve business processes and keep the organization or business competitive. And so some of the AIS students are looking to pursue opportunities as a certified information systems auditor or CPA, certified public accountant. So we do have quite a bit of students who are interested in becoming certified public accountants. So oftentimes they'll explore accounting or AIS. Third is corporate accounting and finance. And so this particular concentration is also a blend, leveraging accounting and finance, But really, students are looking to work in a firm, become a leader. If they want to learn more about companies and how they work financially, then typically students will pursue a corporate accounting and finance concentration. And then lastly is finance. So it is one of our traditional degrees, but we are focusing on helping students learn in how to raise capital, manage funds. We do have a course, Spartan investment fund course, where students can actually get some practical experience with the market, which is a huge attraction for students. You know, they're definitely leaving this particular concentration with skills and information about corporate finance, investments, and financial institutions at large. So that's a brief overview of our 4 concentrations. So I will take a look at the queue at this point for questions and see what we have here. The first question is, how do you keep current with the industry and incorporate into your courses/research?
Yeah, would one of the chairs volunteer to share? Perhaps Tim, you can share 188, the interesting thing we do with Salesforce.
Sure, Meg. Yeah, happy to do that. So 188 is the course that we teach in the School of Information Systems and Technology for all business majors, all business majors, irrespective of their concentration. And it's the one where they get familiar with the kinds of technologies that they would be using on their jobs, whether they're in accounting, finance, marketing. And so what we've done is we've created some really innovative lab exercises that give students hands-on experience using Salesforce, which you've probably heard of. That's one of the big companies right now generating lots of money and jobs. And so they're using actual enterprise-wide software that's cutting edge. It's in the cloud, and they're building apps. They're able to build apps without any coding by using this Salesforce platform. So we're getting them familiar with, really leading edge software. And they're getting and it's in the form of a story. So they're getting experience about how to apply that technology to business problems, even if they're not MIS students specifically, whether they're in accounting, marketing, or finance, they're getting that experience. And so, what we're hearing back from the students is when they put on their resume that they have some exposure to Salesforce, that's getting them interviews and in some cases getting them jobs, because it's such an in-demand, it's so in demand in business today. And so, we've been really happy with that, and we're going to keep going with that.
Yeah, would one of the other chairs want to chime in terms of how they integrate and have incorporate industry and what's happening? I mean, I know that we have a very good mix of full-time tenure track faculty as well as lecturers who also supplement, and they teach a lot of classes, and they actually work in industry and they teach part-time for us. And so that's one way for our students to be connected to what's happening in industry. But would one of the chairs want to highlight something unique that perhaps is happening in one of their course offerings in their department relating to that?
Nothing unique, but in the Department of Marketing and Business Analytics, we are currently redesigning our business analytics curriculum. And the way we do it is we actually solicit very detailed feedback on the course offerings that we have, and not just the course offerings, but we are breaking it down to the content level. So all the content that we cover in each of our classes, and we solicit feedback from our alumni, from our business analytics alumni, non-business analytics alumni, from our graduate business analytics the certificate program, and of course our existing students, a lot of them who have internship experience. So we actually try to stay current and up to date and innovative by soliciting detailed feedback and making adjustments accordingly.
Fantastic. There's a question from Zach Joseph that I thought I would address. It talks about, how easy is it for students to switch? Is it set in stone at the time of their application, or can they move? It is possible for them to switch their concentration, but the bar is a little bit more difficult because we do want the student to be aware that it could affect their graduation, right? It could delay their graduation. So the advice that I would give to students who are still unsure about what they want to do, even if they've picked something, if they're looking to change, as soon as they get to San Jose State, we are happy to meet with them and talk to them about the implications of the change, what it means in terms of career and so on. And our goal is to help them to make that decision sooner so that they're not landing up paying, to stay for another whole year to finish than they need to. So I would say it's not set in stone, but they do need to meet a certain bar. So for example, if they want to get into MIS, they need to do well in a particular, the entry level course, which is the core course. If they want to get into finance, we advise that the basic finance and the finance and accounting course 170 that students take, all business students take, that they do well in that course. If they want to do marketing, then 130, which is our core marketing class, they should do well in that course if they want to get into that course, because it's a signaling mechanism for the chairs who approve whether the students get in or not, whether the student is ready. So I'll just answer that question. Francisco, do you want to pick one of the other questions?
There's another question from Lila. Thank you for asking for clarification on the two new elective concentrations for Department of Marketing. So we'll turn that over to Dr. Mers.
Yeah, thank you. So we are offering currently event marketing. That's a brand new elective. And in the spring 21 semester, we will be offering for the very first time sports marketing. So those are our two new electives.
Thank you for that. Tina is also asking, are internships or co-op opportunities widely available? What is the percentage of students that get this opportunity? So in terms of internships, we do partner with our Career Center, and our Career Center has a platform where employers are able to post any opportunities that they're searching for. So if they're searching for positions such as internships, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, they create a profile. And every year we encourage our undergraduate business students to activate their profile on Handshake, which is the name of the platform, and identify what it is they're searching for. So that there's a match between the employer and the student interest. And students proceed in opportunities such as in interviews and progress through the search process to participate in internship opportunities. And those opportunities are still happening virtually. Clearly there has been a shift in how many opportunities, but we do hear from students that this past summer, for example, if they had a full-time internship opportunity lined up, that some companies transition to maybe a 2-week internship opportunity to still provide students with industry experience. Would any of the other department chairs like to add?
Yeah, this is Shu Hong Yan. I want to add something about the how we keep current and the internship opportunities. Yeah. So first of all, the way we keep current, we take several. We do it several different ways. Yeah. For example, we invite guest speaker to speak to our class, and we also invite our alum. Yeah. To come back and share their experience with our student. And we also emphasize hands-on experience. Yeah, so for example, our student, we require 500 work hours before they graduate. And every year we have a signature event with the Pebble Beach company. So during the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, our student, yeah, they serve as manager. Yeah, they serve as manager to lead a team about between 30 to 40 volunteer or other temporary employee, yeah, to work at food concession services. Yeah, that's something that we are how we keep current and how we engage with the industry, and then also that we encourage a student, yeah, to earn like industry certificate. For example, there's a hotel data analytics certificate offered by a leading company called STR. Yeah, and our student, yeah, uh, we don't have any problem for our student to find like an intern or part-time job. Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
that's how we keep
Dr.
current.
Yan.
Thank you.
I did want to just take a minute while Francisco, you're reading some of the other questions. I wanted to take a minute to point you to another resource that we have. We, we did our Admitted Spartan Day virtually this past summer. And Sophia, if you could just share the Admitted Spartan Day page with our participants, along with the pages or the links where they can find the concentration guides for each of the different concentrations, it would be a really good resource. So I just wanted to hand it over to you so you could explain what that is.
Sure. So I am just putting it into, and sorry, I cut myself short in my previous chat. What I am sharing with you now is, hopefully it comes through. These are, and I'm missing one more. I will grab it in a little bit. These are the websites that are part of our Admitted Spartan Day, where you can find the concentration guides for all of our concentrations. And I will be putting in just a sec, the hospitality and tourism and event management one. Please bookmark these sites. These are great sources to share with your students. And you also have access to our main website for future reference as well. So if you have any questions, the contact information for the concentration and department chairs are also on those pages, and you can reach them if you have any more questions.
Yeah, and there's on the same webpage that Sophia's mentioning, there are lots of videos of existing students, just 1-minute videos of students that are, they talk about the concentration that they are studying, what they enjoy about San Jose State, and that may be a good resource for you to share with your students as well. So back to you, Francisco, for further questions.
Yes, Dr. Grace is unable to join us today, but I do want to make a plug for an event that she hosts. It's a Big Four, Meet the Big Four firms. So we do have an opportunity for accounting students to meet with EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC. So it's definitely an opportunity for students to directly connect with employers on campus when that's possible, and pursue internship or employment opportunities. So quick plug for that particular event. The second question in the chat is, how easy or challenging is it to land internship opportunities for students? So we encourage students to pursue as many internship opportunities as possible before graduation. And so we're continuing to promote that through our platform Handshake, but also our student organizations invite employers to come to their meetings and are also showcasing opportunities. So, what we encourage students to do is to try and apply for internship opportunities. And students are applying to 15+ internship opportunities. So the more applications you submit, the more opportunities you'll be considered for. And we encourage students to submit internship applications as soon as possible. When you have an interest, pursue that interest. If you have the motivation, follow that feeling and follow it through. So we'll continue to encourage you to do so as a student here and provide you with the resources to help you embark that journey. We do have a question specifically for Dr. Hill. The question is, what programming languages are you teaching? What relational databases for LAN, WAN course? What latest technology students will learn in this course?
Oh, sure. So yeah, we try to keep up on the latest technology and expose the students to cutting edge tools. So we've recently, within the last few years, we converted our intro programming course over to Python. It is lower division, so students can take the equivalent at a community college. We just want them to have a good solid intro to some kind of programming. And then when they continue, we're able to sort of convert them over. If they learned C++ or some other programming language, we have a way to bring them up to speed with Python for the remaining courses in the program. So yeah, that's a smooth transition for them. In their WAN course, the data communications course, yeah, there's a whole variety of tools where they're tracing packets as they go around the network and opening them up and looking at the contents and seeing what they can interfere with and what they can't when they use different security protocols. In the database course, they're learning Oracle and Tableau. In our big data course with the analytics, they're learning R and they're using their Python. Of course, they're working with Salesforce. We also have Microsoft Project. So when the students are actually doing their projects and learning project management, they're using Microsoft Project to help manage them. By the way, those are projects that are for real sponsors in the community, mostly nonprofits. We try to do nonprofits, giving the students a chance to work in a team and develop and apply technology to solve a problem or exploit an opportunity for one of these organizations. So, you know, we try to give them, lots of practical hands-on experience, and that's something that the employers recognize. We've heard back from them that they're happy that the students are up to speed with the latest technologies.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. A couple of other questions that were answered. Tina wanted to know what the big four firms were. And so, Sophia, thank you for answering that. It's Deloitte, Ernst & Young, KPMG, and PricewaterhouseCoopers. There was another question about the average class size of marketing and business analytics. And actually, this is true of all of our classes. The typical class size is 45 students, but it does range. There are some classes like our honors classes, which are a lot smaller. And those are usually about 15, anywhere between 15 and 18 students. There are some classes, a few, very, very few, that are double sections that may have 100 students or 120, but those are very, very few. The bulk of our classes are 45 students. Again, we have some specialized entrepreneurship classes that are internship classes that are limited to 15. So again, it varies depending on the class. So hopefully that answers your question. And of course, there was another question about the handouts for each of the concentrations. And yes, I think the links that Sophia is providing will give you a PDF copy of each of those one-page handouts, and you can share those with your students. We do update that every year, so they're pretty recent.
We do have one more question in the chat from Lila. Community colleges as of spring 2021 required to evaluate portfolio and experience learning from military service and training for credit for prior learning. Are all your departments accepting this credit for transfers to apply toward their degree? So typically, when we review external coursework, we're looking at coursework primarily from the content perspective. So the content for X course, what does that entail? If a student has external coursework, then we look at the content and we send it to a course coordinator to review, a faculty who has expertise in that particular course to evaluate for equivalency. We haven't used experience learning from military. We have used coursework from folks who are in the armed services who've enrolled in other institutions and used their credit through whatever institution they attended to be sent through our equivalency review process. I'm not sure from the accreditation perspective, so we are AACSB accredited. So Dr. Vierik, I'm not sure if you have more information about how, what restrictions or guidelines we have to follow when it comes to experiential learning in our accreditation.
I think they would have to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So it would depend upon, again, the type of experience and whether or not it maps out to the course of study that the student is pursuing. So, so I think it's really it has to be determined on a case-by-case basis. Some of our concentrations are a little bit more flexible in terms of accepting, some of the learning if we could convert it, for example, into an independent study. So if there is a meaningful experience that can be converted into, let's say, a written paper or a project under the guidance of a faculty member, there's an option to do an independent study if it's very, very unique. So, so I would concur that some of these decisions are usually made on a case-by-case, student-by-student basis, and we're happy to have that discussion.
So we have another question from Karina. At some point, do students receive an overview knowledge of the different IS&T areas they can pursue in future career and/or employment opportunities? Some students are not clear on how to apply an information systems or MIS bachelor's degree in the workforce related to their interest in natural work style.
So
Yeah.
while Tim is thinking about that question, I did want to put in a plug about our event, and perhaps Tim, you can talk about the travel around the College of Business, where you have a chance to meet with our incoming students, as you did last week, and talk about some of these issues. So, to you.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things, first of all, our career center is really good at helping they host events where the employers come and talk to the students, but also they're really good at helping the students figure out, how to channel their materials and their recruiting campaign as best they can toward the jobs they're looking for. But one of the other really valuable things that we have for the MIS students is the MIS Club. It's called MISA, the MIS Association. And so they are very active, very strong club, very large club. They won Best Club of the Year or something last year. And they bring in professionals who many times have just graduated from our program in the last few years. And they come in from these companies and give students lots of career counseling about how to get their jobs and what kind of roles are available and things like that, how to guide their curriculum, their choices of electives and things like that toward the careers that they're looking for. So yeah, we feel like students do wind up getting really good opportunities and jobs. Our all-time top MIS graduate is only in his mid-40s, but he's the chief innovation officer at Pinterest, and basically already could have retired once or twice, but yeah, is doing that kind of stuff because he's really good at it and he's in very high demand. So yeah, so there's lots of ways that we try to help channel the students toward the interest. We also have 2 electives that help them pick out some area like big data analytics or security or something that they're more interested in, so that they can sort of take a path that's leading them to the career that they're interested in too.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hill. And with that, I'd like to transition over. We're getting close to, well, it's exactly 11:05, and it's time for us to transition to the next part of our program. I wanted to take a minute to thank all of our chairs. Thank you for being here.